Hey guys, what's going on? Fred2266 here, and yeah, I know it's been a while. What's it been? 5 days since I've read Geoverse or really anything. Still in the process of trying to get inspired to read fan fictions again. But you can't really do that when you lay off for 5 days. What was I doing? Well, Christmas and whatnot, and yeah, nothing else really. That's really all that I did. I guess I'm just lazy. So apparently I've been mispronouncing Geo's name for months. And he just decided to tell me yesterday. So thanks, Geo. That's really helpful. I'm sorry there's no function on FimFiction where there's like a little speaker icon by everybody's name and I can click on it and it gives me a sample of how their name is supposed to sound. I'm sorry. That doesn't exist!
Hello, user Fred2266. You have chosen user 5847659821. Here is how you pronounce user.
I forgot the numbers I said. Fuck. Okay. Alright. So that's a fail. Okay. So I'm guessing it's Geodesic and not Geodesic. But once again, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect! So Geodesic is, I'm pretty sure what it is. If not, fuck it. That's his fault. See, his username is condescending. Mine's simple. Sure, it looks like an 8-year-old made it. Whatever, it's simple. Fred2266. You don't forget it. It sounds stupid. And it's easy. Geodesic, Geodesic, Geodusic, Geodasic, Geodusic. So if I'm still wrong, I'm just gonna call him Geodesic. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna do that. All right. So we're going to read chapter 2 of To Friend is Human by Geodesic Dragon. Introductions and history, longest chapter. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. Okay, let's get started. I opened my eyes slowly, thinking that everything I'd seen in the last couple of hours had been a dream. The last thing I remembered was before blacking out was that pony. But this was no ordinary pony. It was a brilliant shade of blue and was flowing through the air, carrying me underneath it. And it had talked, the shock of which had caused me to pass out again. But now I was awake and hoping that everything had been some sort of psychological defense conjured up by my body in response to being shot.
Hey, y'all. Hey, look, y'all. He's waking up,
the southern accent drawled. I looked up again and almost immediately spotted the winged blue pony from what I thought had been a dream. This time there were 5 others with it. I sat up as fast as I could and pinched myself. Nothing happened. I did it again and again, but despite my best efforts, I couldn't seem to wake up. The 6 ponies watched as I pinched myself, various looks of confusion on their faces.
Now why in the hay is he doing that? Asked the blue one.
Because, I replied, while looking it straight in the eyes, I want to make sure I'm not fucking dreaming. Geo. There was a small gasp from the group.
You can talk?
Asked a purple pony with a horn. I can, though I should be the one asking you that question. I got to my feet, the 6 ponies clearly taken aback by my 6'4" frame. A yellow pony, which also had wings, let out a squeak and promptly hid behind the others.
What are you talking about, silly? Asked the pink pony with an even pinker mane. We've always been able to talk, well, except as fillies, but we can talk now.
The speed at which she spoke told me that she liked to talk. A lot. Look, just tell me where I am and how I can get home, I snarled. The sooner I wake up, the better.
And where exactly is home, Sugar Cube?
Asked an orange pony. This one looked normal, in that it had neither wings or a horn. Scotland, of course, I sighed. Where else would it be?
I've studied every map of the world I can find, the purple one replied. I've never heard of anywhere called Scotland.
The color drained from my face. Wait, So I'm effectively on another planet. Or maybe even in some weird dimension?
Well, I guess that's one way of putting it.
The orange one replied. The 7 of us stood in silence for a while before the purple one spoke again.
If we're going to be here for a while, we might as well get to know each other, she said cheerfully. I'm Twilight Sparkle, and these are my friends.
She pointed at the blue one with the wings.
That's Rainbow Dash.
She pointed at the yellow one.
Fluttershy.
The white one.
Rarity. The pink one with the cotton can.
Ouch! I speak 5 sentences with Twilight, and suddenly every sentence is spoken with Twilight. So Twilight's the narrator now. I'll go with it.
The pink one with the cotton candy mane. Pinkie Pie. And finally, the orange one. And that's Applejack.
Nice to meet you. My name's J.O.
That's a silly name,
said Pinkie Pie. Get fucked. Truth be told, or replied, hey, he got it from MSN 13 years ago. Just let it go. Truth be told, or replied, it's actually a nickname, but I liked it so much I used what's known as the deed poll law in my country to legally change it to Geo. Oh fuck. Yet another reason to move to Scotland. I can change my name to Oliver Humperdinck. That's like a dream of mine.
Oh, okay, Pinkie squealed. Anyway, you're a new friend now. Ooh, we have to throw you apart. Twilight quickly stuffed a hoof in her mouth. No, Pinkie, no parties. Geo is clearly not from Equestria. We have to get him home.
Equestria? I queried.
Equestria is our home, Twilight explained. It's ruled by Princess Celestia and her sister Princess Luna. Camelot's the capital, but we're taking you to Ponyville, which is where we live.
I see, I mused as I looked at the 6 of them. And what's with the horn and wings?
Oh, this?
Twilight held a hoof to her horn.
I'm a unicorn, same as Rarity over there.
I looked at Rarity, who flashed me a smile. The bitch hasn't talked all fucking chapter.
Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy are Pegasi, while Applejack and Pinkie Pie are just ordinary Earth ponies, she finished.
Oh, right, gotcha, I nodded. Where I come from, Pegasi and unicorns are myths, so to actually see them in the flesh is rather extraordinary, I smiled. Twilight blushed. Ooh. Ship.
Yes, well, we better get you back to Ponyville. I'm sure you'll need to rest after all this.
You're damn right I do, I yawned. I'm so tired I could... Ugh! The sudden burst of pain forced me down to my knees.
Goodness, what is it? Asked Rarity. Are you okay?
I lifted my shirt. Fresh blood was weeping from where I was shot, staining the grass on which I knelt and caused Fluttershy to faint.
At least now we know what caused the bloodstain we found earlier, Twilight said grimly. Come on, we need to get you to the hospital in Ponyville.
It's all right, I replied. I've got these I passed out yet again before I could finish my sentence. I opened my eyes slowly, only to squeeze them shut, again, thanks to the sunlight streaming in through the nearby window. I got the feeling I was on something soft. Taking the sunlight into account, I opened my eyes again and found I was in a room in what appeared to be a hospital. Oh, thank fuck, I said to myself. That pony stuff was just a weird dream. Just as well someone found me before I died in the street. The door cracked open and I looked towards the door, but instead of a human doctor like I was expecting, I saw a pony wearing a white coat and a stethoscope. My face fell. Well, guess I wasn't dreaming then, I muttered to myself. The doctor walked over to me. Okay, so this is his OC, and so I don't know what accent to give him. Yeah, every character in every fanfiction needs an accent. Great logic, Fred. But seriously, what the fuck? Okay. And you know, more characters coming soon, like Ace and John, and I gotta give them accents too. Oh God! Okay, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I will cook something up rather quickly. So that didn't take long. Alright.
Oh, good, you're awake,
he said.
I'm Dr. Haywick, and you must be this Geo who every pony is talking about.
Really? We looked him in the eye. They're talking about me?
Well, yes,
Haywick replied with a hint of nervousness.
Your arrival here has caused quite a stir. Even the princess is on her...
Princess? I interrupted him. Princess Celestia?
Yes. She's on her way here to meet you.
I fell back into the pillows.
Don't worry about it, dear Colt, said Haywick, patting me on the shoulder with a hoof. Princess Celestia's the kindest pony you could ever hope to meet. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I groaned. "I suppose it's to be expected," I said. "After all, it's not every day an alien appears out of nowhere in the middle of your country." Haywick chuckled weakly as he looks over my notes.
Now, the wound on your back has been healed nicely, he said happily. Since we've never seen anything like it before, I did take a bit of time.
"How long?" I panicked, thinking I'd been out for days.
A few days. Oh! Beautiful! A few days, replied Haywick. Nothing too serious.
"A few days?" I screeched, causing Haywick to back away in fear. "You're joking, right? In my world, it can take weeks to recover from a wound like that. Sometimes even months. Or years."
"No, I'm not joking," Haywick replied. "Normally, unicorn healing spells takes a few minutes to work, but as I said, your wound was unlike anything we've ever seen before."
I visibly relaxed and Haywick took a cautious step towards me. "Right," I replied. "Sorry for yelling at you like that. I guess I must have forgotten that I was in a world where magic existed." I glanced down at where the bullet hole had been. All that remained was a small scar.
"Anyway," said Haywick as he moved towards the door, "we expect you to make a full recovery within the next couple of days. We'll leave you to get some rest now before your meeting with the princess. Take care now."
He opened the door, turned out the light, and left. Left alone, I began thinking about how my meeting with the princess would go. "Hope she doesn't ask me if I want to go home," I whispered to myself, "because from what I've seen of this place and the ponies who live here, I don't know if I want to go back. Not to that horrible world I once called home." I fell back on the pillows and entered into a deep sleep. The next morning, Twilight woke up early with a smile on her face.
"Come on, Spike," she said excitedly, prodding the dragon with a hoof. "It's time to get up." "Oh, come on, Twilight," replied Spike from under the covers. 5 more minutes." "No, Spike," she replied sternly. "I have to see how the new arrival is doing at the hospital."
Spike groaned and clambered out of bed, the blanket draped around his shoulders. "Who is this new arrival anyway?" he muttered. "And why do you even care about them so much?" "There's 2? Oh."
"Well, his name is Geo," Twilight explained, "and he's well, I don't know what he is, but I intend to find out."
"So I'm guessing that he's a new species then?" Spike asked, raising an eyebrow.
"Yes," Twilight giggled. "Isn't it exciting?"
"Yeah, totally," Spike replied sarcastically, before suddenly doubling over, clutching his stomach.
"Spike?" Twilight asked. "Are you okay?"
He let out a small belch, causing a scroll to fly from his mouth, and then it landed on the ground. Twilight glanced at it and saw that it was adorned with the seal of Princess Celestia. Spike picked it up and opened it before clearing his throat. "Dear Twilight Sparkle, I'm waiting for you at the hospital. Come and see me as soon as possible. Together we will question the creature you and your friends discovered. I've instructed my guards to let you pass." Well, I fucking hope so. It's a fucking prize pupil. Signed, Princess Celestia. Twilight grabbed her saddlebags and her levitation field and filled them with as much ink, quills, and parchments as they could carry.
"This could take a while, Spike," she said as she adjusted the straps over her back. "You can have the day off. Go back to bed. Sorry, I waked you up for no reason, but go back to bed, you fucking asshole."
Spike grinned and rushed upstairs. As she left the library, Twilight could already see a large crowd outside the hospital in the distance. $5! $5! See the creepy freak we found for $5! I wish. Standing on either side of the door were 2 unicorns adorned in golden armor, Celestia's royal guards. They stood motionless and unflinching as the crowd clamored to get a better view. Twilight gently pushed her way to the front of the crowd, overhearing concerned townsponies swapping rumors as to why the guards are at the hospital. "Oh. You don't think anything's happened to the princess, do you?" said one.
"Have the changelings come back?"
asked another. The guards simply ignored the questions. One of them noticed Twilight and motioned for her to approach. "Princess Celestia is inside, Miss Sparkle," he said with a nod. "She's been waiting for you." He opened the door and Twilight entered the hospital. Standing at the reception desk, talking to Dr. Haywick, was a pure white pony, her mane dancing in an unseen breeze. Were it not for her height, the fact that she had both wings and a horn made her stand out from the other ponies nearby.
"Princess Celestia!"
Twilight called, breaking into a gallop as she approached her mentor.
"Twilight Sparkle, my beloved student."
Celestia stooped down and brought Twilight in for a hug.
"I got your letter. Shall we go?"
Twilight nodded. Haywick pointed the way down the corridor.
"Room on the end. You can't miss it, really," he said. "So, Twilight, tell me about this Geo," Celestia asked Twilight as they began to walk. "To be honest, Princess, I don't really know much about him. All I know is that he's from a place called Earth, which is apparently different to our own." "Another dimension?" Celestia replied. Interesting. And what about that wound on his back, which you mentioned? I don't know what caused that either, Twilight said with a frown. It could have been a manticore, or a really nasty incident with a tree branch. Do you at least know what species he is? Celestia said, hint of disappointment in her voice. As a matter of fact, I do, Twilight smiled. I read all my books, and I found the answer in the Complete Guide to Ancient Equestrian Myths and Legends, Volume 3. A moment of silence fell on the two before Celestia broke it. Well, she asked, what species is he? He's a human, replied Twilight. Celestia stopped walking and gasped. But, she spluttered. Humans have been extinct in Equestria for nearly 1,000 years. A look of confusion spread across Twilight's face. Celestia noticed it and sighed profusely. As you know, she said, there used to be a strife between unicorns, pegasi, and earth ponies. Twilight nodded and Celestia continued talking. Eventually, they put aside their differences and worked together to found Equestria. They set to work transforming the land into a haven of peace and harmony, where every pony could live freely. One day, while they were cutting down trees for lumber, they came across the humans, who were furious that the ponies had been cutting down the trees, even going so far as to accuse them of destroying their home. The ponies tried to explain that they were not aware of the humans' presence, but the humans weren't having any of it. They killed the lumberjacks in cold blood for defiling the sanctity of our homeland. That's awful, Twilight gasped, covering her mouth with a hoof. Celestia nodded. The humans had claimed the territory Equestria was founded on as their own, and they saw our presence as an invasion. They declared war on us and began a campaign to drive us out. Many lives were lost over the next few years, but the humans were no match against our warriors. The day came when they attacked what is now Ponyville. The fighting was fierce, but we held out. When it was all over, the humans had been completely annihilated. Twilight shook her head. Why didn't I see any of this in the history books? She asked. Records were kept, Celestia replied, but they were destroyed by fire a long time ago. History became legend, and then legend went on to become myth. Twilight looked at her mentor with a raised eyebrow. But how do you know all this, Princess? She asked. Celestia's expression went blank as she stared at the floor for a long time, a single tear streaming down her cheek. Because, she said eventually, I was there. Twilight gasped. Both Luna and I took part in the Battle of Ponyville, she said. We had never seen anything like it, and we hope we never have to again. The way the humans threw themselves at our troops, it was terrifying. They fought with hatred in their hearts and fury in their minds. She stifled a sniffle as tears began to flow, causing a shocked Twilight to grab her in a tight hug. You did what you had to, Princess, she said gently. Those humans would have destroyed Equestria if they had the chance. But I assure you that Geo is not like them. Celestia composed herself and looked into Twilight's eyes. I can see that you are serious about him, she said. Twilight nodded, and the two of them resumed walking down the corridor, coming to a stop outside Geo's room. As Twilight went to open the door, Celestia stopped her. You may not think he's hostile, she said, but after what I just told you, I hope you understand that I will be treating him as such until we know otherwise. A look of horror crossed Twilight's face. But he's not a threat, she shouted. If he was, surely he would have done something by now. If ponies can be deceitful liars, Celestia replied with a raised hoof, I'm sure humans can be as well. Twilight nodded before hanging her head. I understand, Princess, she whispered. You will do what you think is right to protect us. Yes, I will. Now are you ready to question him? Celestia replied. Her horn glowed, ready to open the door. Twilight nodded, and the door swung open. Any comments bitching about Geo's name will be deleted. You got an explanation now, so deal with it. I love when Geo gets all sassy. Hold on. I gotta read a comment. Because this is... Okay, so... The Burgius Bear asked on Chapter 3. I got to my feet, the 6 ponies clearly taken aback by my 6'4" frame. So how the hell did Goliath here get his ass beat on Earth? Also, why is Twilight so sure that Geo is such a good guy? I mean, they talked to each other for what, 2 minutes? And Geo, being the god he is, replies, He was taken by surprise and then shot. Then again, you would know this if you actually, I don't know, read the story. Oh, I love it. Fuck you, Burgess's bear, you fucking dick. Oh, I liked it.
Another great chapter. I mean, the plot is thickening, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Then again, I'm not really a story analyzer. I just read, so I don't really go through and check to see if there are any like mistake here, mistake there. Like grammar, I don't really care. Like I make mistakes too, more than Geo, I assure you. So I don't care. I don't care if his name's Geo. I like it actually. It's over the top, so I don't care. Anyway, yeah. Since I haven't read in a while, I'm gonna go read chapter 4 as well. So, little treat for you guys, I guess. So you're welcome. So stay tuned for that.